Wait for some folks to come in. Get this presentation. See what all thinks about Ian's idea. And I want it to work out for everybody. Don't know why I was doing that so to begin with. It's a good question. So, anyway, it's been extremely hot today. Once again, in the hundreds, and the heat index about 107. Makes it rough on hubby. And, oh boy. Today's party in this great was terrific. I'm going to keep that coming. I want to keep that coming. Don't want to do anything to ruin it. Don't want to do anything at all to ruin it. 10 pounds every 30 days. I want to make that. I want to manage that. 10 pounds, 30 days. Every 30 days. That would complete my journey. Ain't no use in having anything if it's not going to be good. And that is one thing that isn't. Take care of the other thing too. Ain't nobody going to show up this early because they're looking for 7 o'clock. So, hello Tesla. Oh goodness. How you doing today? Hey Ian. Awesome. You ran pretty good on those tickets. I never did have very good luck with them. And Ian, I'm going to talk it over with the rest of the group to see if the time works great for them as well, because I want to make it even and equal for everybody. I think one reason why I started doing it at 7 was to make sure that Julian could make it after work. Yeah, it's amazing what you could do with YouTube, isn't it? You show them tickets that you're renting on, and people grabs that. I guess it kind of gives them a little bit of hope that it's possible they can win too. That's a good way of looking at it. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, I appreciate that you do those scratch offs for me. I had to stop doing any kind of lotto and things like that. My favorite thing was that dozer with the coins on the edge. Oh my gosh. And every time I'd win a pretty good amount, I'd turn around and put it right back into the machine to try to get that lot of money that they had on it. Never could get that. Yeah, they managed to do pretty good this time around, Ian. Thus, generally, I don't get that many views. I ended up wasting way too much money trying to win money. So I just outright quit. Uh, I had a curry chicken breast and some fish sticks, baked potato, broccoli, and yogurt and salad. And then a little later, I had some licorice and a little bit of chocolate. They're going to be slow coming in because they're looking for 7 o'clock. I was getting bored, so I decided to run the chat early. I add the fish to help with having more protein. I noticed that if I have more protein than anything else, then I really do better. If I have more carbs than anything else, then I find myself wanting to eat more. But if I've got more protein, then I do pretty well good all day. So that's my goal, to keep putting in the protein and not so much carb. What kind of frozen pizza? What brand? Hey, Julian. I like frozen pizzas. I think they're pretty good. Oh, okay. DiGiorno is a very good brand. I like DiGiorno pretty good. But I do notice that if I eat pizza, um, I end up getting hungry later. So that kind of backfires. And I love pizza. Nothing much, Julian. Nothing much. I'll get a few more in the chat. And there's a proposition that Ian placed. I'm going to talk it over with all of you and make sure that we can arrange it. I want to try to accommodate everybody if possible. I hope so. He is so sensitive to the way I look. Can't look sad or nothing. Think I worry that poor kid. I worry him. What do you reckon we're going to get into tonight? It could be where his parents are kind of separated. I don't know. He ended up attaching himself last year when he hooked up with the creative crew. He kind of adopted me as a second mom. He said I kind of reminded him of his mother or something like that. And so he kind of adopted me. He had mentioned that he's got somewhat of a learning disability, so maybe he's got dyslexia or something. Hey Heather, how you doing? I don't question why people types in certain way, the way that they type in. I don't question it. I'm able to interpret, and that's what counts. I reckon he's just being polite anyway. I'm doing a lot better today, Heather. Yesterday I really did not feel good. I'm feeling a lot better today. Yeah, I've got to pretty well wait till the entire crew comes in, or at least the majority of them, Julian, and then we'll get the proposition put out there. Yeah, I'm no good to anybody when I'm not feeling well. Those days come around sometimes, but not very often at all. They used to come all the time, though, before I found out that I was anemic on top of having hypo. Hey, Nikki! I decided, like, even though not everybody comes into the chat, the ones that comes to my attention or who I think of that I'm really wanting to promote, I'm going to just go on ahead and leave their link, whether or not they come into the chat. Yeah, I did everything I could to have the live chat last night. The way I felt, I wanted to just go to bed. I forced myself to do it last night, and it paid off. I ended up having a really good list to put out today, so it was worth it. How's little Reagan, Nikki? I haven't even clicked on her video as of yet today. I was trying to do everything else, and I saw that she had uploaded and just didn't click on it. I'm still yet to watch it. I saw the thumbnail though, and the hair does look nice. Kind of looks like she got it styled real nice and stuff. The one thing that I'd noticed yesterday in her video was that she kind of seemed drained and distracted. Almost like she is on the verge of just giving up. So I'm yet to see her video today, and hopefully she's a lot perkier than she was yesterday. I think she's seriously trying to avoid all the drama. I don't blame her. That can take a toll on anybody. Well, kind of waiting on Mitch and Levi. Mark, if he's coming in. I don't know if he is. Just whoever else pops in. Huh. I take it that you wasn't ever going to do that again. That sounds good. At least give Mitch and Levi a chance to pop in. Ian's got a proposition. I like getting my hair done, but quite frankly, I'd rather do my own. The way I see it, I can mess my own hair up. I don't want help. I cut my own hair and I color it. He made it yesterday. And we found out why that he had been kind of missing and whatnot. His parents had split, but they're getting back together, which is good news. So he's just kind of being torn between the both of them at the time. But I think everything's going to work out much better for him. Are you? If mine's long enough, that's what I'd do too, but it's not. When I had finally decided to cut it seriously short, I've had a hard time getting it long enough to pin back up again. It gets to a certain length and it's hard to control, and then I go racking it off instead of just being patient with it. I like it this length, the way it is right now. And whenever it gets out to a certain length, I try to get it trimmed up to this, and I end up cutting way too much off. Oh, that's okay, Julian. That's all right. Oh, he was just asking about my daughter's relationships, and I didn't elaborate about my second daughter. But that's okay, Julian. Ain't nothing wrong with asking questions. When you get to the point that you ask me something that I'm not willing to answer, I'll let you know. I'd say Reagan kind of makes it a little difficult to do that. Or do you have insomnia? I think Mark said that you suffer insomnia. Do you struggle sleeping at night, Nikki? Yeah, I thought that's what Mark had said. I know a lot of people who suffers insomnia. Certainly can't be easy on them. I'm the opposite. I don't get enough sleep. I mean, I sleep deep and I still don't get enough. I think the mind just won't shut off. Not, because when you lay down, your mind is supposed to slow down. And I think for those who suffers insomnia, it doesn't shut off. I know hubby is one of them. The hours that he puts in, you think that as soon as he gets home, he's zoned. But no, it takes a long time for his mind to wind down. And if he had a day shift, he would be up until about 2, 3 in the morning before he'd get to sleep. Well, hubby leaves to go to work at about around 10 to 11. So most generally, I'm down in bed by 11 to 10 after 11, somewhere around there. And then I'm up either around 6:30 or 7:30 in the morning. Just whenever my body wakes me up, basically. There's a certain point that my body just won't sleep anymore. In the morning, when my body starts to wake up, it won't go back to sleep. So, wow, good for him. I hate to hear that though. I must generally start getting sleepy around about 6 or so. Hey Levi, I'm doing well today. I feel a lot better. Thank you so much. We'll give Mitchell a little bit more time. I think it would help Mitchell a whole lot, especially what you talked about, Ian, since he always wants to give time with his dad. So we'll try to give Mitch a little bit more time to get in. I hear you, Catherine. Yep. We've got good kids in this chat. Even Anthony, when he keeps his tongue, so to speak. Yeah, I've got none is watching. I don't ever trust that counter. Ever. It's a liar. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. You're always invisible. I know I've always at least got 4 in the chat, so yeah, I really do not believe that counter. I don't know why it does it. I just don't pay any attention to it. What time do you generally get home, Julian? Yeah, that's what I do. On occasion, I'll look up and I think the thumbs up count is more accurate. More than likely. That's not uncommon. What time do you usually get home? Definitely not anything new, Heather. Definitely not. Around 4:30 to 5? Okay. How about you, Levi? Around what time do you get home? And Mark works at home, correct, Nikki? I think that's what he said, that he works at home. The latest is at 6. Okay. I've got a reason for this question, so bear with me. Okay. So I think it probably would pay. Well, I use my video phone for recording, and then I use iPhone Magic. iMovie. I use the app iMovie to edit. I've just got one viewing. Anyway, I think what Ian had proposed probably would work better for Mitchell as well. Me, myself, and iMovie. That's a good one, Anthony. How you doing today, buddy? Well, that's about the usual. That's normal. Okay, so Ian's proposition is where he goes to bed early for school, and he does homeschooling and public schooling, so he's got two individual times. He's wanting to be able to join in the chat entirely, but because he has to get off early to get ready for bed and everything for school the next day, it kind of knocks him out. So his proposition was that I start doing the chat 6 Central and 7 Eastern instead of 7 Central and 8 Eastern. And I was just wanting to make sure that that worked out fine for those of you who works. I think it would really help out for Mitchell as well, since he gets off early to spend time with his dad. So this would make a big difference for the kids if it would work out good for you, Levi and Julian. Well, Levi, actually, I don't think it did, because right from the start, the first day Anthony joined, he outright explained himself to us. So I don't think that bothered him one bit. So would that work good for you, Levi and Julian? All right. Well, that's good. That means I'm doing something right when people can trust me right off. All right, then. I'll make the announcement tomorrow when I do my video. Um, Still kind of poses the question, though, about what time would be good on Wednesdays. And I'm doing a really good job spying in on you. This laptop is a crypt. I guess I'll just go on ahead and run at 6 Central every day. And anybody who can't make it in on Wednesdays, I understand. Because it wouldn't be any different than running it on any other day. And um, say somebody can't make it in on any other day. So I'll just go on ahead and run at the same time every day. And that way, whoever can make it can make it. Those who can't, it happens. I mean, I'm trying to work it around so that everybody can come in, but that still isn't always the case. Yeah, I'm still looking for you, Julian. Maybe that's the reason why the neighbor's house is always shut. So, all right, I will certainly be sure to put that out on the shout out video tomorrow. That way, people is well aware of the change of time. And I know that will definitely help out for the younger people. It might actually help out for me as well. Not me. I caught up on what I didn't get done yesterday, and I'm still not done with it. The dishes got so piled up, I've got a third load to do. Hey, Mom. My secret? Last time I knew I didn't have a secret. Oh, yep. I guess they had me figured out all along. What temperature have you been having, Mom? Who do you think got me into the service, Julian? Mom's a better spy than I am. Yep. Well, in that case, Dad's in on it because he's always busy doing something. Um, Here we've been hitting hundreds, and like today, yeah, we need some strange people. Anyway, it reached 100 today, and I looked at the heat index, and it showed that it felt like 106. We've been having that for the last several weeks. We've been reaching like around 104, 106 in the heat index. So it's been smothering hot. What really makes it hurt is having to take Bouncy out into this. And the poor little dog, I mean, she likes to sniff around and stuff. You know, she hurries up and does her business so she can come back to the house and cool off. I freeze in 60 degrees. My heat tolerance is like, I'm comfortable at around 75 or so. And when it reaches about 95, it really starts getting hard on me. So I've got a very small window of comfort. Ah, you got it, Ian. We now know the real perpetrator. Ah, even more so. That explains all those questions. Hmm. Now, the really crazy thing is when we get a cold front come in through here, it actually brings it down to about 75, which is actually comfortable. Seriously comfortable, especially when the wind blows so hard. Oh my gosh. I mean, the breeze always feels good here, and it's always windy. Even if it's a slight breeze, it's always windy. But when the winds really hits around 70 miles an hour, that is so comfortable. Ah, there we have it. Now, if it's sunny and 72, that is very comfortable. If it's cloudy and 72, I freeze. Yep. No one would ever suspect a baby. Ever. Never would suspect a baby. Perfect spy. And the even better thing is, he'll never tell what he knows. You're expecting. That's a good one, Ian. A new form of insignia. I don't know. According to everybody, everybody's a spy, so I guess we're all guilty of being too nosy. So, what do you all want to get into today? Hey, Don. Oh, I hate to hear that. Well, you just take care of your aunt, Dawn. I can understand that. Yep. But that's all fine and dandy. Mm. Anyway, guys, what would you like to get into today? Trivia? What would you rather? Or have you got any other good chat game that you know of? Or maybe even a good subject to get into? We've got a trivia, and we've got a what would you rather. I mean, we could always do both. Some more trivia. I've actually still got it pulled up, so they'll be easy to get into. All right, we'll start with trivia. I, I think you basically do, Mom. And see. All right. Okay. I found where we had left off. Well, actually, I've got a different questionnaire pulled up. The one that we originally was doing, I think, had more to do with European than anything. Yes, lettuce is a veggie. But this here is more realistic, so to speak. So, what is the name of the last boy who visited the chocolate factory owned by Mr. Willy Wonka? What is the name of the last boy who visited the chocolate factory owned by Mr. Willy Wonka? And the really cool thing is with these, they don't show the answer until I open it up. Yeah, I'm saying Charlie too. So that really makes this good because Augusta Gloop, John John. Okay. Anyway, where it doesn't give the answers until I open it up, that means I get to guess too. So we've got Augusta Gloop, and I don't know where you're coming off with John John Wall. And we've got Charlie. Now, don't go talking ugly. I will give you time out, Anthony, if you start doing that. Charlie Bucket. All right, that with a name that long, Levi, I'm going to have to figure out how to put your marks. Oh, I hate to hear that, Dawn. Is she ready? Let's see, Julian and Ian. Make sure to mark them down. Hershey. But yeah, Dawn, is your aunt ready? Does she know Jesus or anything? And you're right, Anthony. We need to lift her up. The bigger question is, aside from her being ready, is the rest of the family? I really hate when anybody is sick like that. Which is the tallest mammal of the world? Which is the tallest mammal of the world? I'm going to say the giraffe. That's true, it happens. We've got a giraffe and an elephant. I'm saying giraffe. The worm, okay? It's about like Mom's John John. Yeah, I do think it's the giraffe. The Asian elephant. It's the giraffe. There couldn't be much of a difference, though, in the height of the elephant and the giraffe, seriously. I wouldn't think so. Google lied. It's always hard to believe the internet. I have caught this particular questionnaire to have some really strange answers to questions. Hello, Grandpa. And how is Miss Luna today? Don't forget to give her her treat for me. I want my kiss. I'd say everybody was loving on her. She probably got full from her trip from her treats. She ain't got room for one more treat. At which big event was Kevin left alone in the home? At which big event was Kevin left alone in the home? Yep, yep. Make it simpler Christmas vacay. They really didn't even word it right. It shows that a human being made this questionnaire out. Christmas! But this one, a lot of people got up on the board. I'm giving that one to you, Ian, because it was their vacation. It was their Christmas vacation, so I'm giving that to you. Name three wonders of the world. Name three wonders of the world. Mount Rushmore, Mount Rushmore, Taj Mahal, the the Sphinx in Egypt. Those are my guesses. Pyramids, Great Wall, and Taj Mahal. The pyramids, Well, even if you manage to guess one right, you'll still get a mark for that. Oh, Grandpa's covering his tracks real good. He gave 4. Yellowstone Geyser, Eiffel Tower, and the Great Wall. Great Wall, Grand Canyon, and the pyramids. I think, well, let's see. The Wall of China. All right, let's see what they've got. Interesting. Well, those who said pyramids, I'm going to give it to you. They've got the Great Pyramid of Giza, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. So I'm going to give it to those who said pyramids. I'm going to go with your first one. Oh, well, that's okay, Ian. Quite frankly, there's all kinds of wonders in the world, so they could have given anything. I'm going to give that one to you too, Grandpa, since you said the Sphinx. I consider that to be a wonder in itself, anyway. Rich Friday brings a lot of happiness. Rich Friday brings a lot of happiness. Good Friday. Every Friday. Fun Friday. Yeah. Only to those who celebrates it in an odd way. Taco Tuesday. The Black Friday. Quite frankly, I think more or less that brings more headache than happiness. The only ones that gets happy on a Black Friday are the ones that manage to get the goods and aren't trampled on. Yeah, and it's just like something to twist it around. Now, honestly, I mean, they said Black Friday and nobody gets a mark for that, but honestly, I would say Good Friday. So I'm giving everybody a mark who said Good Friday, even if it is against the Christian year. No, the wallets sure don't. Well, Levi, you're ahead with 5 marks. We'll see how many people knows about The Simpsons. Which city is the cartoon The Simpsons live? Where does The Simpsons live? The cartoon The Simpsons, where do they live? It'd been a long time since I'd even watched that cartoon. I stopped watching it because I thought it was too ignorant. I'm going to go with Springfield as well. Seems like that's it. Mm-hmm. Springfield. You're doing better today, Julian. You've got 4. Mount Everest is a part of which mountainous range? Mount Everest is a part of which mountainous range? The Asian mountains? Mount Everest? Quite frankly, I wouldn't know. Alaskan mountains, Asian mountains, Himalayan mountains. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, Grandpa. Grandpa got it, the Himalayas. That gives you 5 now, Grandpa. If anybody guesses this one, y'all keep up with this stuff. Who is the patron saint of Ireland? Who is the patron saint of Ireland? Okay. Who is the patron saint of Ireland? I don't keep up with that stuff. It's St. Patrick. That gives Levi 7. And Julian is now up to 5 marks. Don't feel bad. Sometimes I surprise myself. What is the capital of Italy? What is the capital of Italy? Sicily? Oh, Paris? I don't know enough of Italy to even know myself, so I'm not even going to try to guess on this one. Spaghetti City. Spaghetti City. Oh, waiting to see if Grandpa answers. Nope, we only got one. It's Rome. Should we go back to the European questions, Mom? Because you really done well on those. But now you've got 3 marks, so that's good. Where is Sahara Desert situated? Where is the Sahara Desert situated? I believe it's Egypt. And that's just guessing. Africa. Egypt. Africa. Africa. Egypt. You watch and see. We're wrong about Egypt. You watch and see. Somewhere hot. Yeah, for sure. Huh? Someone please double check this because I'm not thinking that. It says in the North Americas. I don't think the Sahara Desert is here in America. Surrey?
Yes.
Where is the Sahara Desert?
Sahara is in Mauritania, Sudan, Tunisia, Libya, Mali, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and Chad.
The desert in Africa. See. They got their answer from this. Its area is of 9,200,000 square kilometers, which is comparable to the area of China or the United States. But as we have it, we've got Egypt and Africa, according to Surrey. So it covers a large area. So everybody who said Africa and Egypt, I'm giving it to. It's so crazy sometimes. Yeah. Grandpa's sticking his tongue out at everybody. But yeah, everybody who said Egypt and Africa gets a point. Yes. So let's see. We got to scroll up, make sure I get everybody here. Scroll up too high. Okay. Michael gets one, or Levi rather, and Julian. Well, that gives you 6, Julian. Good job. Grandpa's got 7 and Levi's got 8. Ian's got 4. Boy, it's running pretty close between Levi and Grandpa. Yeah, so far you've got 3, Mom. You're going to end up catching up, I know you. Jeopardy's going to kick in on you. When was Superman created as a fictional character? When was Superman created as a fictional character? Boy, if hubby was watching this right now, he'd be able to answer. He is a comic book fan. 50s. That's what I'm saying. It's the 50s. I don't know exactly what year, so I'm just going to say 50s. In the 30s. Yeah, he did. 1945. Boy, that's getting specific. (1960) 1952. Wow. Grandpa got that. 1933. Him and Levi are even now. Ready? I think I'm going to skip that one. Yeah. Well, that's a good guess, Anthony, for sure. And I'm not talking about the 1280. Who wrote Cinderella? Who wrote Cinderella? Quite frankly, I do not know that. I've only known Cinderella as a Walt Disney character. The Grimm brothers? You're probably right. More than likely, they wrote all the fairy tales. Disney. I got a feeling Levi's right. Hans Christian Andersen. You know what? I forgot about him. If they say Disney, I know they're wrong. Oh, wow. Never heard of this person. According to this, Charles Perrault. According to that, Charles Perrault. Never even heard of him. I would have thought it was like Brothers Grimm. Nobody gets a point for that one. Well, here's you a yes or no question. Is the horse the fastest animal of the world? Is the horse the fastest animal in the world? Yes or no? No. Okay. Well, everybody is correct. No, the horse is not. Hello, DMAC. But according to this, it's not the cheetah. How are you, D-Mac? Nope. It's not even a land creature. I'm doing great. Everybody say hello to D-Mac. According to this, it's definitely which we all agreed about. They listed it as the peregrine falcon, or the peregrine or the peregrine falcon. So everybody who said no actually does get a point because it didn't ask for us to say who or to say what. So that brings some people up on the points. Awesome. You got your points. You're up to 4 points no more. Are you going to hang in the chat, D-Mac? You're more than welcome to join in the trivia. Okay, awesome. How many sides does a hexagon have? How many sides is on a hexagon? I think a hexagon is an 8-sider, I think. We've got 7, 8, 4, 6. I mean, I took geometry and I enjoyed it, but I'm not remembering. 6. It may be a 6-side. 8. 6. All right. Levi, you have ran out of space, man. D-Mac is up on the board. 9, huh? Nope, it's a 6-sider. So that gives Levi 10. I'm going to have to put marks on the other side of your name. Who created Pooh? Who created Winnie the Pooh? Yeah, I'm going to say Disney too. But I'm thinking he was actually created by somebody else. I just don't know who. Christopher Robin. A.A. Milne, guessing Disney. Who created Winnie the Pooh? You know what? We have got some points here. Cool. I'll give that to you, Mom. DMAC got it, and everybody else who says Disney, because it was A.A. Milne and Walt Disney. So basically, everybody gets it, except for you, Levi. See, Grandpa said Disney, yes. Another point for DMAC. Mom now has 5. Pretend you said Disney. Let's see. And Nikki gets a mark. That gives you 5 now, Nikki. Wow, Julian is up to 8. He's making up for his lack of doing it the other day. He failed so bad the other day, so now he's making up for it. Name 3 countries beginning with S. 3 countries beginning with S. I'm actually going to open up the answer because I don't know which kind of countries they're talking about. Oh, okay. I'll give you a hint for this one. They're talking about foreign countries. 3 foreign countries beginning with S. Well, actually, believe it or not, Julian is the only one that guessed all 3 of the answers that they gave. But I think anybody who guesses 3, I'm going to go on ahead and give that to you because it says name 3. And we know that there's more than just. But the ones that they listed was Spain, Switzerland, and Sudan, which is exactly what Julian had put down. So I am going to give this, I'm going to give everybody a mark for that. So Grandpa and Levi is tied with 11. Mom now has 6. Ah. Oh. Ian's now got 6. And Julian is now up to 9. Who first used the word hello on the telephone? Who was the first person to say hello on the telephone? It definitely wasn't Graham Bell, according to this. I know Graham Bell said something, but it wasn't hello. That's right, it's Thomas Edison. DMAC is going to catch up with everybody here. He's up to 4 now. Bell and his helper. Ian gets another mark. He's up to 7 now. I don't remember what Bell said, honestly. Let's see what Graham Bell had said. Surrey?
I'm listening.
What did Alexander Graham Bell say on the telephone?
I found this on the web.
Oh, Mr. Graham Bell said, Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. So that was the first word spoken on the telephone. But the first person who said hello was, see if I can pull that up now. There it is. Was Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was the one who said hello. Okay, there we are. All right, we've got a few more here, and then we'll end it. Good night, Levi. You done really good, though. You ended up with 11, so that's pretty good. So we've got 2 Thomas Edisons. And I'd mark those. Who invented the light bulb? Good night, Ian. You came out with 7, pal. That's pretty good. Who invented the light bulb? Just about it. Are you talking about Tesla? According to the answer here, it is Edison. But there's a story between Edison and Tesla. Grandpa is up to 12, and DMAC is actually up to 5. Yeah, that's what I thought you was meaning. Julian is up to a big whopping 10. Wow. Believe it or not, according to a documentary, Tesla actually Tesla's was a DC light. Okay. I know supposedly like there ended up being a big rift between Edison and Tesla because supposedly Edison kept taking Tesla's ideas. And if I remember the story straight, when Edison supposedly created the light bulb, Tesla got really angry and busted every one of his. If I remember correctly. I might be getting that wrong. I'm thinking he did because he didn't want anybody else copying his work or something like that. Anyway, Tesla doesn't get very much credit of anything. I don't remember that. It'd been a while since I'd seen the documentary. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, there ended up being a big riff about it. So Tesla came up with all this electrical idea, and he really never did get credit for it. Instead, Edison did. And Tesla ended up dying a very broke mad. Mad. He ended up dying very broke. He ended up being broke and unknown. Yeah, I'd be upset too. I personally, I had never heard of Tesla until I'd watched the documentary on him. I'd always thought that Edison had created such and this and that, and I didn't realize that a lot of his ideas came from Tesla. They never even taught that in school. So I got the marks down for everybody who said Edison. And we'll leave the trivia there. We'll stop with the trivia. Trying to keep up with everybody, and a lot of people's left. So let's see. Levi left with 11, and Grandpa actually wins with 12, and Julian is third in place with 10. That's pretty good. Yeah, I had just found out about Tesla about 3 years ago. Didn't know anything about Tesla. Never even heard of him. Yeah, it was. Seriously. I think that's the first time anybody had ended up with coming out so many marks. Yeah. There's a lot of great inventors. But I really wonder how many inventors was really never credited for what we use today. And anybody who doesn't know, please be praying for Terry in circles. She is really having to deal with anxiety right now, and it's knocked her out of good sleep. She didn't get a good sleep last night, and it's really interfering with her. So we need to keep her in prayers. Yeah, it's rough. Satan is really attacking her with those mental issues. Terry in circles suffers from depression. Thank you, DMAC. Really? Wow. Anyway, Mom, Terry suffers from depression, anxiety, and oh, what was the third thing she had said? I don't remember what the third thing was. But anyway, it interrupts her sleep a lot. She stays tired. I think normally she would have been on here tonight, but she done good to make a video today. What other things does anybody know that's been invented and who invented it? I have got a list of stuff here, and I'm wanting to do a video on it. And I'm going to see how many of you even know or remember any of this stuff. I'd say at least a few of you do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anxiety is a real spirit. Depression is a real spirit. I was delivered from depression, remember, Mom? That guest minister didn't know me from Adam. Commanded that spirit to leave me. These are very real pressing spirits. And the really good thing is she's saved and she knows the power of Jesus. So just need to hold her in the prayers and let her faith take over. So how many of you know of or remember the laser disc player? I didn't know anything about the laser disc and the player until I met hubby. I'd never known anything about it. Why didn't we ever own one, Mom? Nope. James Russell, huh? Interesting. No, the player that hubby had, it played good. The sound actually ran out on it, but it continued playing. Those things were heavy. Like one easily weighed, I would say possibly a half pound. Invented the disc at least. Yeah, I'd never known that. Oh, bless his heart. He didn't even get to come in. Oh well. That's all right. I'm going to look and see what the third thing was that she said she suffered from. Cause you got to know what you're praying for. That's going to bother me until I know. Panic. She suffers from anxiety, panic disorder, and depression. So, yeah, every one of those is a very, very hateful spirit, very disturbing spirit. So, anyway, okay. How many of yous know of the phone booth? Oh, and right back to the question, Mom, why didn't we ever have a laser disc player? Yes, in Jesus' name. The phone booth. Believe it or not, we still get phone books here. We just got one last week. We don't use it, but it would come in handy if we ever needed it. We just never use it. Oh, okay. No, that's a really good reason why I never knew anything about them. We had the beta, the miniature VHS. The can and a string. How many knows or remembers the rotary phone? I wouldn't mind having a rotary phone again. Yeah. Not all that old, Grandpa. I even remember the rotary. Yep, we didn't have the touch tone. Ah. How many knows of or remembers the 8-track? Boy, those things sounded pretty bad. Especially according to now how things sound, but back in the day they were okay. I think I remember that, Mom. You know what? That's a good way of putting it, D-Mac. When I was a young person, I was actually delivered from depression at about the age of 12 or 13, and I had chronic depression. I was suicidal and everything. I was a mess. I was telling them about that racing song from Jan and Dean and how it went through the entire house with the stereo system. But yeah, you're right, D-Mac. It is so hard to see the world in anything but sorrow with depression. It really is. With the 8 track, I guess I don't know exactly what happened, but in order to get it to sound, I think it was actually 7, Mom. It was shortly after you and Dad separated. I remember that very well, though. And it's pretty bad when you're still under the age of 10 and you say that you want a gun so you can blow your head off. I definitely know that I was young enough. And I got that silly idea from my stepdad because he kept guns. Um, but the 8 track, anyway, if they didn't play right, Mom would put the brown tape. It wasn't duct tape, it was just simple brown tape. Uh, what kind of tape is that, Mom? The simple brown tape, package tape. No, it was packaging tape. And she would just wrap it around the 8 track. Okay, thank you so much for coming in, D-Mac. You done good with the trivia. You done very well. Thank you very much. No, he had them in Granny's attic. Well, good. I hope to see you again, D-Mac. I do. I hope to see you again. Thank you so much. But yeah, stepdad Ron had them in Granny's attic. No, you didn't. But stepdad Ron had them in Granny's attic. I watched him cleaning them one day. It wasn't Unc, it was Ron. It was in Granny's attic. But yeah, for Mom to get those 8 tracks to play right, she would wrap it with the brown package tape, and I guess it made it tighter, and therefore it played better. Yeah, Mom's pretty good with the BB. Oh, wow. Oh, well, I bet that was hard. Ugh. Let's move on to who remembers what. Guns is starting to get a little scary. Who knows of or remembers the ribbon typewriter? Oh, wow. That would have really been rough, Nikki. Yeah, I remember you doing that too. I remember you doing that too, Mom. Who remembers or knows of the ribbon typewriter? I'd say she probably had nightmares. That wouldn't be very good. Those old Royal typewriters, the original manual Royals, those things were hard to type on. The keys were stiff. But I love the sound of a typewriter. You don't know of a ribbon typewriter? I like the sound of a manual and an electric typewriter. AOL chat room, huh? Oh, Catherine, the dog ain't doing nothing to you. Calm down. Calm down, child. Dog wasn't doing anything to you. I don't know. I said, or do you know of them or remember them? It doesn't necessarily have to be that you'd ever used them. Yeah, I wouldn't know, but you know what, Mom? I'd say it's possible if we ever done like flea marketing or something, we might could find one. Actually, Catherine was having a stare down on the dog, daring her to get closer to her. I don't know that Catherine's ever going to get used to Bouncy. Here's a good one for everybody. Who knows of or remembers the vinyl LP records? You know, honestly, I don't know if MySpace is or not. My daughter used to have an account with MySpace. She ended up having, I think, over 400 friends or something like that. I tried it and I really didn't get far with it. I didn't get interested in it. You've seen one? To go a little deeper, who had the 33s and the 45s? I had a nice little collection. I had a small record player that had Barbie and Ken dancing on the lid. Yeah, it was just a picture of Barbie and Ken. And I had a nice little collection of the 45s and a few of the 33s. I liked them. I did. Mine got ruined. I don't know whatever happened to my record player, but I held on to the records. And when I moved with my first husband, they were put in the basement and they became ruined. I thought they had good sound, except for when they would skip. I thought they had great sound. I loved them. Who knows of or remembers the Polaroid cameras? And I'm not talking about the newer Polaroids. I'm talking about the ones that had the Tamagotchi toys. Megan had a Tamagotchi, my oldest daughter. Anyway, I'm talking about the Polaroid cameras that had the picture that you removed and you had to let air dry to get the photograph. Who remembers those? They definitely never was the clearest photographs, but they were good at the time. Thought they kind of neat, actually. Some of this stuff I really miss and I wish was still in use. How many came in the package, Mom? Remember, it came in a box. The film came in a box. Ah, they knew how to make their money, I reckon. Who knows of or remembers the oil lamp miner's helmet? Yeah, the disposable cameras. They still do those. They still sell those. The one thing about the Polaroid, though, you sure never had to worry about going to a developer. Just developed them yourself. Do you, Nikki, or Julian know about the oil lamp helmet? Catherine, calm down, child. Calm down. That dog ain't doing nothing to you. You don't know about the miner's hat that used to have the oil lamps? Yeah, they did. That was a big collection. Mom had so many photo albums and pictures. Practically had a timeline. A lot of good things was burned up in that fire. A lot of mine and my brother's childhood, Mom's childhood. Anyway, the miner's helmet had a itty bitty little container on the front of the hat with a mirror like that stuck up similar to a mirror that a doctor uses, and there would be a flame in front of that mirror from that little lamp from the oil, and that's how they lit their way in the mines. But it was dangerous because the mines releases gas, and so in order to make sure that it was safe to go into the mine, they would take a bird in there. And if the bird started acting crazy, they knew that there was too much gas in there. But if the bird stayed calm, they knew it was safe for them to go in with those oil lamps. Mm-hmm. Yep, back in the day. And then they finally started using the lamps with the light bulbs. It was safer. Who knows or remembers of the black and white dial TVs? That's right, they did, Grandpa. They used the canaries. Who knows of or remembers the black and white dial TVs? They are pretty old. 19-inch. That was a small TV. The goody but nodie. And those TVs, you had to use antenna, and you was lucky if you got one channel. You're not that old, Grandpa. I'd say you and Mom's about the same age. Not quite going far as far as the Ice Age. Definitely not doing that, but eh. But I'll tell you a good one. My ex-husband, his grandmother was born in 1900 and died in 2000. So that woman watched things be invented and changed, and like yeah, she went from the horse and cart to the car to I mean, that woman saw change. When I first met her, she was um I think 92 or something like that. Good night, Nikki. Love you, girl. Give little Reagan a kiss on the forehead for me. Anyway, when I met, we called her Ma Tish. So when I met her, I think she was maybe 92, 94, something like that. And when we actually celebrated her. We celebrated one particular birthday. But anyway, I would go down to her house and sit and listen to her tell stories. There was always a story to be told. She had experienced so much where she lived. And she would say that she's getting ready to turn such and such an age. And I told her, you watch and see, Grandma, you're going to end up living to be 100 years old. And sure enough, she did. She died at the age of 100. Well, she's still young. Aunt Burnett is still young. I bet she still kicks it just as hard as Grandma. My grandmother is a story now. You know, she can outlast most young people. She's an amazing woman. But yep, I definitely knew somebody that died at the age of 100 and could just imagine what she saw. Oh, I hate to know that. At least they're being took care of. Who knows? Aunt Bernetta might live to be 100 years old. So, what person do you know? Um, who's the longest living person that any of you know of? Wow. They would have to be pretty old. Yeah, I don't either. There are some nursing homes that's negligent, but I always like to think that whoever's in a nursing home is being took care of. Kind of makes me wonder how old those grandsons are. So, what's the longest you've known anyone to live? Wow. Wow. That kind of reminds me of the people in the Bible, the Old Testament, begatting kids at the age of 200. That would explain a lot right there. Yep, and he was actually the oldest person in the Old Testament, the oldest person who lived in the Bible. Wow. Well, she had to have been decently old for her to have got to meet me. Can't say that I met her because I don't remember her, but at least she got to see me, so she had to have been decently old. Could you imagine living almost 1,000 years? In this time and age, no. Would have been hard back in the Bible too, but now my grandmother's going to be 87 in December. And she still acts like she's about 40. Wow. I agree. Yep, I do not remember Grandmother Baxter, but I definitely know that she got to meet me for sure. I used to get to spend a whole lot of time with my great grandmother too. Wow. Do you know when that was? Because 122 is really stretching life there. I know, like, when I lived in Kentucky, I used to watch in the morning, they would, that in the 90s. You know, I think I remember hearing about that or something like that. But yeah, I used to watch in Kentucky in the morning. They would wish happy birthdays to the people that was over 100 years old. And the oldest person a few times that popped up was 110. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's what I enjoyed it when they would show those. And a lot of those people you would never believe was in their hundreds. There was one that looked like They was still like in the 70s. They look so good. To my knowledge, I don't know. Maybe they do it here, but we don't have television. Everything that we watch is on YouTube and just movies on streaming devices. So we don't actually watch TV in the news now. Willard Scott done the Smuckers in Kentucky. Wow. Um, Basically, yeah. And right now we're only running DSL and it's just strong enough to hold two devices. And then we're running on the LT, the uh, the source from our cell phone company. 110 is even a life. I mean, I thought Ma Tish was old when she passed away at 100, but people even living longer than that. Yeah, the LTE 4G, exactly. And that's what we run with our devices. The DSL only covers this laptop and our Amazon Fire Stick. That's all the strength it's got. On occasion, it'll last long enough to upload one app that's got a large data on it. But then we have to remove it as soon as we're done uploading. So, but yeah, we do. We save quite a bit of money that way. When we had TV, we was going through Time Warner. I don't remember how much we was paying, but all the channels was repeat channels. We didn't have anything. Hey, Don, good to know. Anyway, like it went through just certain channels and then it started the channels over again in HD. We didn't have anything to watch. And so me and hubby both decided drop the TV. It wasn't worth it. Was it anything on to begin with? And for two, because the way they situated the channels, we didn't have anything the way it was. We find it easier to just watch what's been uploaded on YouTube and through the Fire Stick. And I use Tubi on my tablet, and there's lots of good movies on Tubi even. So who needs TV when there's other ways? Huh. It's not easy to find somebody's Wi-Fi that's unlocked. Every one of my neighbors around here, theirs is definitely passcoded. Can't get into anybody's. They installed fiber optics here, and I'm wanting to get the fiber optics, but right now, the way it is, we're still having to line out other finances. So, right. I hope everybody is prepared, especially her. Well, well, that's good to know, Dawn. That's good to know. It always makes it easier to lose somebody if you know that they're ready. I feel for you, buddy. I've lost a lot of aunts and uncles here lately. Even lost a cousin. That's always the easiest way. I know the last one I lost was my dad's brother, and that's been about a month now, Mom. Anyway, I found out that he was ready to go, so that made it easier, but it was still hard. He is one of my favorite uncles, too. He always had a way of making me laugh. I thought he was so funny. But it was a relief to know that he was ready to go. So I've lost a couple cousins, actually, a few. The newest one happened to have been my uncle's son. He ended up dying before his dad. Yeah, and it's been about 4 or 5 months since young Ronnie passed away, or something like that. Anyway, oh, wow. All right, Julian. I'm about ready to close this out anyway. I'm going to run it for 5 more minutes and then I'm done as well. Yep, it's never easy, but as long as we know that they're ready to go, it helps. It really does. It helps. It's already been a couple years ago. Time's really flown that fast. Time slips plumb through my fingers anymore. I can't keep up with it. Seems like it wasn't that long ago that Ronnie died. Yeah, time just slips. Seriously. It's like when I was looking at the dates of my coloring pages and all my paintings, and it doesn't seem like it'd been that long ago. The not the one that I painted the other night, but the one up here that I had titled Ash Creek Fields. I had done. I think I've got the date as September or something, or maybe October, something like that. Time just goes. Wow. It's something how that happens. It's almost like a snowball. You lose one, and then next thing you know, you're losing another and another. My family on my dad's side is large, and we've lost a whole lot here lately. And I can see my aunts and uncles passing away, but it's a little harder to see when your cousins do. One some years ago was killed in a car accident, and then another cousin was killed on a four-wheeler, and then my last cousin had died from something was wrong with his lungs. What he had is something with his lungs, wasn't it, Mom? What Ronnie died from? Lung cancer or something. I'm not quite sure. I knew that he had trouble with the lungs because Renee had talked about him having trouble breathing. But I'm not quite sure what he died of. Oh, okay. See, that I didn't know. I didn't know that he had had a transplant. I just knew that he was struggling to breathe. But yeah, I really don't know what to say to you, Dawn, except I'm sorry to hear that your aunt's dying on you, but it is good to know that she's ready to go. So, no, he wasn't Woody. Anyway, this has been running for 2 hours and 30 minutes. So, your mother in law was? What, did she pass away on you unexpectedly? Yeah, he's trying. Good night, Grandpa. It's amazing how that goes, isn't it, Dawn? But yeah, he's trying, Mom. He's trying. And I really hope that something changes for him. He's looking so prematurely old. Um, One morning I woke up, and I don't know if it was where I was just waking up or if the Holy Ghost told me. But when I woke up, it came to me that he was dying. And I'm just hoping that that was where I was still trying to wake up. And that just came to me and not the Holy Spirit. That's what I'm hoping. But I shared it with my son, and so he keeps a close eye on his dad now. The good news is, like, his blood pressure is back down. This is what they shared with me when we was in. His blood pressure is down, but he's borderline diabetes because he won't give up his sweets. So, but at least he's still drug free, which is the biggest plus. And he said he's never going back to the drugs. So anyway, I'm going to close this down. I love you, Mom. Tell Dad good night for me if he's not already snoring. Good night, Dawn. And everybody else ran on ahead. So I love yous. Yous have a great night.